Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 220, and my special guest, Lana Cline. Lana, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, what did you do before real estate?
I was a stay-home mom for 19 years.
Wow.
I have a degree in speech pathology and a minor in audiology and music.
Right.
And I always tease people, my children are the most articulate kids on the planet because they're the only ones I ever got to practice on.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to start my master's, had been accepted into the master's program when I found out I was pregnant with my first. And then there was a second, and then there was a third, and then it never happened. So
Right.
I grew up with real estate agents. My father did it on the side just for investment properties, bought land and bought rental homes. And so I was his indentured servant, and my mother held a license as well, but she really was more administrative.
Right.
So I kind of grew up around it, and whenever it came time for me to make a decision about what I wanted to do post child rearing, that was the obvious jump.
So it was an easy decision, but not an easy task, right?
You know, I figured if you want something bad enough, you're going to figure out a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was still in the throes of raising middle school and high school children and dealing with other family issues that were going on. But I decided that it was going to be more expeditious for me to do it online. I didn't have really time to sit in a classroom 8 hours a day.
Right.
So between making meals and running kids to sports events and washing clothes and all the other stuff, I would take 30 minutes to an hour here or there to do my real estate classes. And within 4 months, I was ready to sit the test. And I went and took the test, and thank God, passed it the first time.
There you go.
And started my tenure at Keller Williams and had some phenomenal mentors there. I worked on, well, we'll get into that later, but I had a slow first start because I realized within the first year that raising kids and finishing well with them was more important. So my first year was good, but then I had to break the news to my broker that I was going to take a 3-year sabbatical till my kids were all autonomous, and then I came back in 10.
Right. Now, have you always been disciplined? Have you always been that determined and focused? Was that something that was part of your background?
It has been. That's just part of who I am. Even as a child, I am my own biggest competitor, and I never really played team sports except for maybe 2 years of baseball in junior high. But I've always been super motivated to do my best. Always loved exercise, so I've always been, an outdoor person. Love to eat well, lift weights, walk. I'm an intense walker.
Yeah.
That's how I process things. That's how I deal with stress. Everything's better when I walk.
Right.
And so my dog and I get lots of exercise, beating the paths around our neighborhood.
I love it. So it's you versus you.
That's right. And honestly, I've been told so many times, you are your own most fierce competitor.
For sure. And what kind of dog?
Oh, she's just a little rescue.
Little rescue dog. Awesome. Well, now, so you took this three-year sabbatical. You came back into real estate. You've had some wild success, but it hasn't come easy. And you've continued to be success despite life events and things going on in your life. What's inspiring about your story is you've had a number of breakdowns, breakthroughs, roller coaster moments, but you still stay in your business. How do you do that?
Full disclosure, and with no apologies, Jesus is my rock. My faith has been my anchor and has been my stability through so many different ups and downs. And I've probably had more than my share, but I'm telling you, when people come to me and say, I want you to help me start real estate, and I've never worked outside the home, I'm like, you can do this. You can do this. How badly do you want it? Yeah. And no matter what the life circumstance is that is thrown at you, if you want it bad enough, and if you're willing to persevere and stay the course, you can make this happen. And it's about putting the right people in your sphere, not listening to the outside forces that tell you all the negativity, learning when to turn it off, learning how to walk away from toxic situations, and learning how to tell yourself the truth and anchor yourself in the truth and with people that are safe. to cheer you on and to be there with you. That's super important to success.
Is that something you learned because maybe because you've had a few things thrown at you, and we probably won't share all of them, but you've had some pretty major things thrown at you that you've not only worked through, but thrived outside of. Did a few of those get you down and you had to learn how to get through some of these things?
Oh, I'm still human.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you Wonder Woman?
I do wish that I was Wonder Woman, but I'm not there yet.
Right.
Yeah, of course. I have human emotions just like everybody else does. I absolutely get down. I absolutely have tough days. But you know what? Here's a win for me. If I'm having a tough day and I still get up and do what I know to do, if I take my dog and put on that leash and put on my tennis shoes and go for the walk, take my shower and have my coffee and do my quiet time and spend my time with the Lord and listen to what he tells me about what's true, about what's true about me, about what's true about him, what's true about the world around me. And then I get in my office and I do what I know I'm supposed to do and pick up the phone and love on my clients and let them know I'm there for them and working for them hard and making sure that everything gets taken care of. God takes care of the details. I do what I can do and I let him take care of the rest, and he comes through for me every single time, Mark. Every single time.
That's so powerful. And to know, all of the things you've gone through and still the success you're creating, many people would, crawl under a rock and just give up.
Yep.
But not you.
It doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. And
there you go.
And here's what I know at the ripe old age of 50 something.
Right.
I have so many things to look back on in my story and be able to say, he took care of that situation, he took care of this situation, he's taken care of that situation, look how beautifully we came through this one. And why would I have reason to doubt? Why would I doubt that he's going to get me through the next whatever it is that I'm dealing with? I have no reason to doubt. He's gotten me through close to six decades of
That's powerful.
Craziness.
Now, is there a favorite tool, a favorite process? If there was something I took away from your business that you couldn't live without, what would it be?
A process.
A tool, a system, something you use daily?
Okay, and honestly, one of my weaknesses, one of my Achilles heels is tracking. I finally gave up and got a Fitbit for myself.
Okay, so you're tracking
It
your numbers.
absolutely helps.
Right.
And I had gained some, weight over the holidays, and I've made a tiny little adjustment to my eating habits, and I'm being very disciplined to keep all my calories in here.
Love it.
No cheating. And I'm watching it go away. So Darren Hardy says, if you make small little adjustments over time and be consistent with them, that there's going to be a radical change. And he's correct.
Yeah.
And that's not just in weight loss. That's in business. That's in personal relationships. That's in finance. That's in our spiritual lives. That's in our relationships. Everything. So that's my go-to. Darren Hardy and I are good friends as far as he doesn't know me personally, but this is the third time I've read his book. Yeah. And I tend toward perfectionism, but I am believing that those small changes, those tweaks, is progress. And progress is what's going to get me to not perfection, but a better version of myself.
Well, you've heard me say probably 100 times, perfection is not a standard. Progress is, right?
That's right.
And head over to our blog, jpar.com/blog, and I wrote a blog on how 1 degree difference can magnify in either difference.
Either way, for bad or for good.
Right. And so jpar.com/blog, and just type in small difference, and it'll come up.
Yep.
But that 1% difference, I think I wrote, if a pilot is flying from New York City to California, if
1 degree.
If they're off 1 degree,
yep,
they'll land in LA instead of Orange County, 50 miles apart.
Yep.
So it can magnify in either direction. So this thing you're doing is that those small daily disciplines add up. Do you apply that to your sales disciplines, your calls, your reach outs, your contacts?
Yes, my finances, everything. Everything. And am I perfect at it? I'm not. Do I have times where I really stink it up in a day? I do, but you know what? Tomorrow's another day, and I've got to not hold on to the guilt and regrets of yesterday. Today's a new day. Start over and do it right today, right? And I think that the battle is won in our head. What we tell ourselves is so powerful, and what we allow others to tell us about ourselves is so powerful. And when we begin to really take control of that and really stay keenly aware of what we're allowing into our thought life, that affects everything. How much TV are you watching? What kind of books are you reading? Who are you hanging around? Do you need to get rid of toxic people? Do you need to get rid of toxic television or toxic books that you're reading? Toxic blogs or too much social media? Take control of what you can take control of. We can't fix this crazy world. We can't fix the interest rate. We can't fix all the crazies that are moving in and out or whatever's going on, but we can fix this right here.
Right, love it.
And when we fix all of this here and take care of our world, it magnifies and it spills over to my clients and to everybody else. The healthier I am and the more positive input I put in myself, the more I have to give back. And so I think people love that energy, and they love that positivity, and they love the fact that I am purposeful and intentional about what I'm doing.
It's like throwing a pebble in a pond and the
Absolutely.
ripples.
Absolutely.
What an inspiration. Thanks for sharing. But do you have a favorite tool or something you use in your practice, your real estate practice?
And this is going to sound silly, but I finally found a CRM that works for me.
Good.
And I had used other CRMs in the past, and they were too robust and they were too tedious. And I'm not a super tedious, want to figure all the technology out person.
Yeah.
Buffini is super simple. It's easy.
Referral maker.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's super relational, and that's me. So it fits my personality. It fits loving on my folks, you know. It reminds me to stay in touch. It tells me who I haven't touched. And it helps me understand where my business is going, how much business I've done, what my potential is, what's pending, what's closed, what I didn't convert. So for me, I've been using it almost 4 years now, and it has really, really given clarity to my business. Am I using it perfectly? I'm not.
But progress.
I'm not, but progress, right?
But isn't that so true? I'm glad you shared that, because it's not one size fits all. What the beauty of the business we're in is, you know, what fits your personality versus someone else. And so getting in touch with who you are, what works for you, is really one of the keys to your success.
Yep.
And now that you've found that and it's the right tool for you, then you can work on through it.
Well, and to that point, there are so many things that are thrown at us. And I love JPAR because we do have a smorgasbord of like things that we can choose from, but you have to choose what works for you. And you can't, if you let all of those into your space, then you're not good at anything. So you have to pick what you believe is going to enhance your business and your clients' best interest.
Exactly.
And you have to go with that and just not worry about the rest. If somebody else is using something that works for them, great. But if it's not you, don't worry about it.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because we do have a smorgasbord, and we do that for a specific reason.
That's right.
Because
Different
what works for you may not work for
That's
me, and
right.
what works for someone else. But if you don't have that attitude, if you don't have that approach, it can be very overwhelming and distracting. So we really coach and teach. You got to know what your purpose is, what your personality and what works for you, and then pick and choose the right tools that are going to help you thrive. So one thing we haven't covered is, you know, folks listening to the episode here, they send referrals. We have people listening from all over the country. You specialize in Fort Worth, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And what do you love about Fort Worth?
You know, I've been there since 2000, and I can't believe it's been almost 22 years now.
Wow.
But my kids were raised there, and started my business there, and I know it intimately, and I've watched it grow exponentially in the 22 years that I've been there. So I love the school districts. I love all the new things that have come to that area, and I, you know, work within about a 30-mile radius of the Keller, North Fort Worth area.
So if you're looking for someone to be a referral partner in the Fort Worth area, now you have it.
Absolutely.
And come to Dallas and come to the Fort Worth, to the stockyards, and hang out, right?
Absolutely.
Well, anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap up?
You know, if you love people, if you love to make a difference, in people's lives. This is a great occupation, and I am blessed that I found the right niche for me. I don't know where God's taken it, but I think He has some super plans ahead, and I'm just going to hang on for the ride.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thanks so much for sharing your story, and you're such an inspiration.
Thank you.
I know the audience doesn't know all of the background, but you've gone through a lot.
And again, God is bigger than any situation, and He's the one that brings us success.
Yeah, there we go. Well, there we have it for this episode of Success Superstars. Until we see you again, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears. Take care.